Greetings and thank you for joining the weekly meditation of Calgary Mindfulness, where every Sunday morning we meditate for 15 minutes on a different topic, often suggested by our practicing community. If you would like to join these meditations live, or if you would like to attend in-person meditations around the Calgary area during the summer months, please email CalgaryMindfulness@gmail.com. I hope you enjoy this practice and wishing you a wonderful week. Good morning, and thank you for joining me today. We are continuing our final sit on meditation and depression, and then we will move on to sort of Christmassy topics, so gratitude, planning, nesting, resting. So I hope that you will enjoy our next few series. Let's begin by getting into the mindful body. And just taking our posture that's strong and straight. And let's begin with a body scan as we continue to breathe. And just sending our awareness through the bottoms of our feet, up through the body. Slowing down the breathing, noticing the rise and fall of the body, the torso, the chest and belly, as we continue to send our awareness up through all these special little body parts we normally don't think of unless they're in a lot of pain. My toes, ankles, knees, feet, thighs. Stopping for a moment on the belly, noticing where the sits bones meet the cushion or chair, mattress, wherever you're at. Just noticing what's holding us up and what it feels like. And sending our awareness further up. Noticing the rise and fall of the chest as we breathe, and the shoulders. And finally, sending our awareness up into the face, relaxing the eyebrows, relaxing the mouth into a smile. In our last couple meetings, we have attached a mantra to the inhalation and exhalation, something like when we inhale, we remind ourselves that we're okay. We remind ourselves of our true nature, of our true identity as one with spirit, one with all of our brothers and sisters. And when we exhale, we aim to let go of what is not serving. Worries, doubts, strong emotions that don't align with our highest and best. We compassionately come back to this process because, of course, those doubts and worries, they're always there in new flavors. So we don't ever get there. We just continue the practice. So let's just sit with that for a moment. Inhaling slowly, but exhaling for longer if possible, with a ratio of like 1 to 2. Reminding ourselves of our strength. Reminding ourselves that we are supported. That the universe is not out to get us. In fact, it's the opposite. And as we exhale, committing to releasing what doesn't serve. And just noticing the thoughts that arise on this process. Many, many important and helpful thoughts may arise. And we can release them with each breath. They will be back by the next breath, and we do it again. As we sit in practice, let's call to mind some of the themes we've been picking up in our last couple meetings. And those are identifying where thoughts that we associate with depression, like lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth, real hopelessness and fearfulness of the future, a real sense that we don't have any agency to control how we feel. So calling to mind those thoughts and just allowing ourselves to sit with them in the knowledge that our presence with those thoughts lessens their emotional control over our subconscious. In sitting with those thoughts, however painful it may be, we bring them to light, and the light is where we find the healing. We don't need to inquire too deeply right now into the thoughts. Let's just recognize and acknowledge what's actually there. In particular, any areas, topics, people, where we feel that our agency to choose highest and best for ourselves and others is compromised. We no longer have control over our thoughts and feelings and sense of well-being, sense of ease, because of something outside of us. So calling those things to mind. Knowing that we cannot have any control over anything outside of us. And so to put our peace of mind, our physical and mental health in that basket is kind of insane, right? If only I had, I did, I could, then I would be happy. And the topics that come to mind are our physical and mental health and appearance. If only I didn't have this medical problem. If only I was younger, thinner, beautiful. Problems with money. If only I had more security financially. Better work, more respect. And of course, problems with family. If only my kids were this way, then I would feel better. If my husband or wife or partner is this way, then I could be better. I would feel better. I would feel happy. I would feel stable. I would feel at ease. I would feel peaceful. If only these people would change. Observing when we fall into past and future. If only I had done this differently. If only I could fix this going forward. And noticing, moving on to the second part of this practice today, where do we feel these thoughts in the body? The sensations in our body are often the first signal we get about the toxic flow of our subconscious thoughts. Perhaps it's a migraine, some kind of pain in the head, some sort of pain in the belly, a real feeling of tension in the face or shoulders, maybe regular aches and pains, or much worse, when we are in the trance of these thoughts. let's take a moment to feel our feels, as my sister says. I love that phrase. Feel your feels, hobo, she says. Feel our thoughts. Where do they appear in the body? When we call to mind a situation where we feel we don't have control, we don't have a plan, we don't have oars to navigate forward, we don't have the right boat for a stormy sea. Where do we feel that in the body? For me, it's the belly and the head. Insta migraine. And as we call to mind the physical sensation that is created by our thoughts, we, number one, remind ourselves of the complete interconnectedness of our minds and bodies. And number two, we have a chance to explore. What do I feel like if I can let go of this thought? So let me provide a more concrete example to guide our practice. For example, I'm really struggling with my youngest son. And my peace of mind feels entirely dependent on his mood, which is crazy. If anyone's had teenagers, they know this is crazy. And also not good parenting. I need to provide more mental stability to help regulate him through this crisis. So there's what I know I should do and what is going on inside, which is turbulence. Call up a similar situation for yourselves. Let's visualize what it feels like to not have our sense of ease, peacefulness, and joy entirely held hostage by circumstances and people outside of our body. How would I feel if I could let go of this worry? Notice the physical ease in the body, relaxing the belly, relaxing the face, relaxing the shoulders. If this, what I perceive as an external circumstance controlling my happiness, is not an issue, and the third part of our practice today, we will lead into inquiry. What do we need to be happy, to feel patient, to feel at ease, to feel like an agent, like we have the oars? What do we need? Explore. Let's take a moment to explore our complex situations for our desires. So in my case, it is stability, ease, peacefulness. That is the deep desire of my heart. The desire is not to control my son, but it is to have stability. How can we find these qualities that we require to feel agency in our lives? How can we find them without controlling the external circumstances? So for example, in my case, where can I promote stability in my own life? Number one is taking proper physical care of myself so that I can be as patient as possible when speaking with my children. If I'm exhausted, it's just not going to happen. How can we take physical and mental care of ourselves to enable a sense of agency? What are the things we love and desire apart from the situations that we are troubled by? Perhaps it is, and we're looking for the primal joys here, experiencing the beauty in nature, resting a little bit with our loved ones, sharing meals or coffee with loved ones, girlfriends. What are the things that bring us a sense of ease, release, joy, patience? What are those things that we can engage in? And sitting with our thoughts and intuition for a moment, we will receive guidance when we are quiet. This is the nurture part of our practice. How can we nurture ourselves? To reconnect with the truth is that we are agents, that we are in control of our thoughts and feelings and destiny by choosing our responses wisely, by letting go of the need to control others' outcomes, to manifest in the experience of others, not possible. By committing to the fact that the highest and best we can offer others is our own alignment with our highest and best. Ooh, that's a tough one when big emotions are on the line. And as we wrap up our practice, let's commit to ourselves, to one another in this community, to honor what we need for ourselves, to develop the highest and best for ourselves, to develop our ability to stay more aligned with a sense of ease, patience, wisdom, peacefulness, prosperity, abundance, compassion, wisdom. To stay aligned with those important spiritual qualities. To do so requires we let go of fear, shame, worry, mistrust, the need to control, obsessiveness. And that's tough. So what is our path forward? It is one breath at a time. Observing where we feel these things in the body. Fear, shame, lack of wisdom, lack of clarity, unease. Observing where it manifests in the body and release with the breath. And then rinse, repeat. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to hearing from you over the week about our practice, and I look forward to celebrating the holiday season with you with loving kindness and gratitude and just a whole bunch of uplifting practices, which are also fundamental for alleviating some symptoms of depression. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.